You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. Police have identified the body found stuffed in a suitcase in Huntington. Now, cops say the victim is 31-year-old Zakia Jones. The cause of death is still being investigated.
She was always so happy. She didn't deserve to go out like this. She's from this town. It's like this is her home.
Now, there was a memorial sign at the scene this afternoon. Officers say the discovery was made in a wooded area near Nassau Road Tuesday morning. No arrests have been made, and police are asking anyone with info to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-220-TIPS. And an 83-year-old has died after being hit by a golf cart. The town of Huntington says it happened at the Senior Beach House in Centerport last week. Authorities say the man was accidentally bumped by a golf cart, fell, and then hit his head on the curb. Police are calling it a non-criminal incident. And MacArthur Airport is getting more than $2 million in funding for improvements. The town of Islip will get the federal funds for taxiway signage, lighting upgrades, snow removal equipment access, and more. This is part of a $60 million statewide initiative to improve more than 24 airports around New York. And East Farmingdale is about to have its third recreational marijuana dispensary. Planet Nug is having an official grand opening on Wellwood Avenue. Now, this store joins two other dispensaries in the area, Strain Stars on Route 110 and Happy Days on Route 109. And tons of waste from car shredding rather, is being dumped on Long Island. And Virginia Huey has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
This is the end of the road for vehicles trashed by their owners or seized by police. At Gershaw Recycling in Medford, mammoth industrial machines crush and grind thousands of junk cars and appliances at the rate of 1 every 8 seconds. The operation yields hunks of scrap iron, which are sold to steel mills across the country.
It suits our mission and our agenda. 1, landfill as little as possible. 2, recover what we can. 3, generate revenue.
By weight, the company says it recycles 77% of what it takes in. The remaining 23% is unrecyclable material known as car fluff.
There's over 100 different plastics in this pile.
That waste material is trucked to the Brookhaven landfill and buried at a rate of about 110,000 tons a year. The disposal of auto fluff is raising concerns about the potential threat to the environment and human health.
It's not good. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for the people here.
Car fluff is deemed hazardous by regulators in California and Europe. Here in New York, the Department of Environmental Conservation classifies car fluff as a non-hazardous solid waste. There's also growing concern among some residents that car fluff may be contributing to contamination from toxic chemicals known as PFAS, which was recently identified in a new groundwater plume from the landfill. But the DEC issued a statement to Newsday that, quote, a determination of car fluff contributing to PFAS contamination has not been made.
PFAS needs to be banned, like PCBs were banned.
Gershaw Recycling said it believes its car fluff is not a factor in the new plume, citing the contaminant's presence in other common household waste and the landfill's long-standing system of capturing the liquid that permeates through waste. But Georgette Greer-Key, who has lived near the dump for 20 years, is not convinced.
We're constantly worried about, what we're drinking, what we're putting in our bodies. And you have the landfill taking in this fluff. All the plastics and the metals are detriment to our health.
According to the EPA, PFAS exposure can lead to increased cancer risk, reproductive issues, as well as immune and nervous system problems. Advocates say environmental oversight of car fluff in New York may be outdated because it doesn't require testing for PFAS. Ash and construction and demolition debris, which are also buried in the landfill, aren't tested for PFAS either.
So these have historically come in at higher volumes than the car fluff, but with the landfill ceasing to accept construction waste at the end of this year, the fluff, if it continues at the current levels, will just make up a higher proportion of the waste that the landfill now takes in.
So the EPA and the DEC really need to step up regulations and testing. When we test the materials, then we know what it is that we need to regulate, because ignorance isn't bliss, ignorance is dangerous.
Brookhaven town officials decline interview requests. While Gershow's Autofluff has never been blamed for any contamination, DEC public records show buried piles of the material contributed to PCB and PFAS pollution at 2 former scrap yards upstate. The Brookhaven landfill will continue to accept Autofluff through 2027. The town board quietly passed a resolution late last year authorizing a new contract for its disposal there. It will generate an estimated $7 million a year in revenue for the town.
We can no longer be the regional waste and dumping ground for anyone.
But residents in nearby communities say they've borne the burden for far too long.
I understand the landfill is a major source of the income here for the town of Brookhaven, but you have to factor in the health of the folks that live in these surrounding communities.
For NewsdayTV, I'm Virginia Huey.
Now, to read more about this story, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the NewsdayTV video box. One of the island's top girls soccer players is back on the field and ready to play. Jolie Katzen has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
It didn't take very long for Bayshore girls soccer coach Paul Forthmuller to see the impact Evangeline Perdomo could have on his team.
I've known Evangeline since she was in 7th grade. She was coming to our open gyms. And right then and there, I knew that she was a special player. She's just a dynamic player. Just her foot skills, her explosive speed is wonderful. And her soccer IQ too. She really understands the game.
Since joining varsity as a 9th grader, Perdomo has made a name for herself. Last season, she finished with 16 goals, making her one of the top goal scorers on Long Island. But she says playing the center midfield position comes with a lot of responsibility.
The game really revolves around the middle, so if you don't control the middle, then you most likely lose the game, because if the middle isn't controlled by your team, then you can't really move the ball around.
4 years later, as a senior captain, Perdomo says she has big goals for herself and for her team.
I definitely want to try to make All-American. Also, I want to bring my team to at least the 2nd round of playoffs. There's definitely a lot of tough competition this year at reversing, but I definitely think we can hang with them because we put in a lot of work on the field. In practice, outside of practice, building friendships on and off the field.
As her high school soccer career comes to a close, although she's not committed yet, Perdomo says she's excited to continue her passion at the collegiate level.
I watch a lot of college soccer, and the way they play so fast, it just seems so fun. So I would love to play that style play.
It's going to be some hard shoes to fill. I mean, she's just a wonderful, dynamic player. Ultimately, what I really am going to miss just watching her play. But I look forward to her playing in college and definitely catching some of those games.
Jolie Katzen, Newsday TV.
Now you can see Newsday's top 100 girls soccer players on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. All right, here's what's up on Long Island. Check out the Water Lantern Festival. You can see floating lanterns on the lake designed by attendees. It's Saturday at Eisenhower Park in East Meadow. Or head out to the North Fork Foodie Tour on Sunday. Learn about the foods, wines, beers, and spirits of the North Fork. Or why not see some art in the park? Reflections is a walkable display made of illuminated art pieces. It's Saturday evening at Milton L. Burns Park in Riverhead. Now for admission info and more events, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Let's take a look at your somewhat warmer weather. Look, we're going to get in the mid-70s tomorrow. Check a look. Actually, it's increased. Now we're near 80s, but we will have some cloud cover pretty much all day. Taking a look, you see the clouds are with us, but so are those elevated temps. And as for your 7-day forecast, well, it looks like rain on Saturday, but for the rest of the week, we look dry for now.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC. One town in Suffolk County has allowed the dumping of 110,000 tons of automobile residue in a landfill every year, crushing concerns. An exclusive Newsday investigation, now available at Newsday.com.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us.